Well, hello again. This is Pastor Mark with another installment in our study on the parable of the loving father. And this one will be a little more difficult. We're going to talk about the older son again, and talk about covenant breaking, growing rebellion against the father, even if you still live in the house. And this one is more difficult because it strikes a little closer to home. There are far many more in the church that are like the older brother than are willing to admit that they are. But the older brother, he doubted the father's goodness. And you really can't leave the father's house until you doubt his goodness. But why was there a party in the first place? In verses 25 and 26, he was invited to attend. It was a party of free grace. It was a party of unmerited grace. It was something, or they were celebrating something that the older brother could not understand. I often wonder, why is there so little joy in the Christian lives of so many people? They don't understand grace. They don't enter into the party. The return of the lost son was the occasion, was the event that revealed the graceless heart of the older brother. Even before the younger son left, perhaps, the older brother, he had a strained relationship with the father. You see, God's goodness and God's mercy, they're the foundation of the covenant, and the older brother didn't see it, and he didn't think he needed it. The older brother was sort of destroying the covenant because he was living on a merit system. He was trying to earn brownie points with his father. He was keeping the rules only to receive the prizes, and not out of grace that demonstrated love. So, what if the younger son returned? Who cares, said the older brother. It's only to cruel bondage anyway. That's really what the older brother was saying. And so he also refused to enter into the father's joy. He refused to go into the party. What gave the father great joy made this older son bitterly angry. There are many who do not relish the things of God. They don't love the things that God loves, just like this older brother here. There are many who harbor an unforgiving spirit, and they refuse to enter into the blessings of others. Instead, they envy them, and they question the wisdom of God in giving them blessing and not giving me blessing. So he had really rejected the father in verse 29. You see, you don't have to leave the house to hate your father. And you don't have to leave the church to hate God. The older brother, what was floating around in his head? Well, the father, you see, he's a cruel master. And he's rewarding sin by receiving this sinful brother. He deserves nothing, yet you give him everything. This is all unfair. This is what I deserve. Grace and works are miles apart. In fact, they're heaven and earth apart. It's the difference between heaven and hell. They are eternity apart. The contrast you see in this passage isn't between wasteful sin and faithful service. That's what the older brother thought. But it was between needing grace and not needing it. It was between understanding the grace and only having a legal mindset. It was between having a legal relationship with God and a gracious one. It doesn't pay to follow God. I believe in God, and I try to do my best. I try to be good. I think I deserve to go to heaven, and I think that God will honor my best efforts. If we claim a God of grace, and yet we often practice a God of merit, and if we do that, we are the older brother. The older brother saw himself as a mistreated slave. I have earned something, and God hasn't given it to me. You see, the focus was on himself. Just like the younger brother, the focus when he left was on himself. The older brother's the same way, even if he didn't leave. The older brother, you see, was a prodigal even while he was at home. He wasted the blessings of the covenant. Not only did he reject his father and his father's love, but now he rejected his brother. How does he refer to him in the text in verse 30? This son of yours. Didn't say he's my brother. He's your son. By the law, he stands condemned. and there is no hope for him. But by grace he stands acquitted, and there is forgiveness for him. I wonder, do you rejoice when God blesses others? If you do, and you get really good at it, you can be joyful all the time. You can enter into the blessings of others and almost taste them for yourself. Does it thrill your soul to see others transformed by the mighty grace of God? Or do you envy the blessings that God gives to others? Are you inwardly angry when God is better to someone else than he is to you? Do you compare that way? Are you a rebel at heart, even though you still live in the home? He offers grace. He offers grace to all. Will you take it? And will you enter into the party?